43 Sugar Delta 593, 2 Whiskey Radio 06, standing by.
Whiskey Radio 06, please QSY to 580.
Hello,
QSL.
QDX 418.
Okay, 580. Yeah, right back, 43 Sugar Delta 593. It's 2 Whiskey Radio 06, San Francisco, standing by.
Yeah, okay, 2 Whiskey Radio 06, San Francisco. 43 Sugar Delta 593, name is Peter. Papa Echo Tango Echo Radio. 2 Whiskey Radio 06. 43 Sugar Delta 593, go ahead.
And I'm right back, Peter. Yeah, personal on this side is Larry. That's Lima Alpha Romeo Yankee. And I was looking at the needle. Excuse me. I was looking at the needle on my last go around. I got you about a 5-9 signal over here into San Francisco. What I'm using over here right now is a 8-element cubicle quad, and right now I'm using a barefoot FT 2000 transceiver, so not a whole lot of mine right now, but we still got a good copy, so conditions are pretty good at the moment. So like I said, that's about a 5, about 9 coming this way to San Francisco. QSL.
Yeah, QSL, Larry. 2 Whiskey Radio 06, 43 Sugar Delta 593. Okay, mate, all copied. Okay, and the 8-element quad working very well for you, Larry. And the FT2000. I'm also using a Yaesu FT2000, Larry. And at the moment, I'm just using a 2-element cubicle quad, which is fixed in your direction. My normal antenna is a 6-element quad, which is beaming towards Europe, and the rotator is broken, so we're just using this 2-element at the moment, Larry. And you're running a little bit of power here, Larry, as well. 2 Whiskey Radio 06, 43 Sugar Delta 593, go ahead.
Yeah, we're back, 2 Whiskey Radio 06. Yeah, I'm actually building a 2-element quad right now for a friend of mine. I used to have one up over here. I used to run one for, I put it up as a temporary antenna because I had some pine trees over in the way, and I put that little 2-element up, and it wasn't that high either. It was maybe 20 feet off the ground to the boom, but I put that 2-element up as a temporary thing, and ended up staying up there for about 4 years. So I finally pulled that down and built this, I bought and then modified this 8, and I've been talking on that for a while, but every so often I do build a few antennas, and that's actually what I'm doing right now. I'm taking a break from working on the antenna. Right now I'm cutting the wire links, so I just cut the wires, and I figured I'd sit down and key it for a second because I heard the conditions starting to pick up, and you got to put the ends on there and solder the other element, the reflector together. But yeah, no, I have no problem at all with a 2-element quad because, like I said, I've done a lot of talking with one of those little things. And the way I make them, I use a 60-inch boom. That's I forgot exactly what that comes out to in meters, but about 5-foot boom. That's actually 60 and 1/4 inch, so a little over 5 feet. But yeah, pretty good little antennas. I modeled a few of them on the EasyNet program that I have on one of my computers, and I got a little 2-element like that. I got that thing telling me, a good flat SWR, got it centered at, and right at about 13.4 dBi on the gain side. QSL.
Yeah, QSL, Larry. Well, I'm just using this 2-element quad as a temporary antenna. My 6-element quad is beaming towards Europe, and I couldn't move it around because of the rotator. So about an hour ago, I thought I'd resurrect this 2 element, so I had to put a new spreader arm on it, and it's on a pole at about 20 feet, Larry, and beam in your direction. I just thought I'd have a bit of fun this afternoon towards the US and see how things was going, mate, but you're good signal here. I'm using a little bit of audio equipment. I presume you are as well. I'm using a Behringer rack system, and the microphone is a high-old PR40, Larry, and running a pair of 4CX 800 triodes as well, Larry. 2 Whiskey Radio 06, 43 Sugar Delta 593, go ahead.
Yeah, that's real close to what I'm doing, except for I actually have a Titan, a Tentec Titan 425 that uses a pair of 3CX 800s in it. I don't have it in line at the moment, but I do have one of those around here. It's a pretty neat little amplifier too, because it covers all the bands, including the 160. So pretty neat little piece. And the only bad thing about the 800 tubes is they're a little on the expensive side compared to everything else, but that's part of part of why they do this stuff, I guess. But yeah, it's a real close microphone. Well, same microphone actually. It's I'm also using a high PR40 mic and also some rack gear. But I got a few pieces by a few Behringer pieces. Actually, most of it is Behringer, but there's a few eyeballs in there too. I use what I do is I drive the mic into a preamp. The preamp goes to a compressor, then I drive that into a sonic maximizer, then into a effects processor, then into an equalizer, then back to a compressor limiter, and then drive it into the backside of the FG2000. And I think, I forget which one it is, but I do have one of the internal equalizers just barely cracked on just a hair. That's my real fine adjustment right there. But yeah, it sounds good though. Audio's pretty good. I figured that's what you were using, something similar, because like I said, audio's real good over here, and good signal too. And the band's pretty quiet. I get a little bit of static out there too, but I am making a video right now. While we're keyed up, it's about 8 minutes long so far, but later on, if you want to get a real good idea of what that thing sounds like over here, if you go to my YouTube page, it's number 6 of the Buzz. If you go to our YouTube page, I'll load this thing up a little bit, and you can get a real good idea what it sounds like coming into this FT2000 this side. So,
QSL, Laurie, I look forward to seeing that. I'm using a preamplifier as well, a Behringer preamplifier, and then into an EQ, which is a DEQ 2496 ultra curve EQ system, and then into a composer, which is where I mostly use this for my downward expander and the noise gating, and then into a virtualizer, which gives me a little bit of reverb. I haven't got too much on. I usually have it about there. And I have got the EQ on in the radio as well, which just helps that little bit. Just turn the reverb back a little bit. So I am using the EQ in the FT2000 as well. I haven't had this radio all that long. I've had it probably a couple of months. It's not my main radio. I usually use the TS950 Sugar Delta X-Ray. That's the radio I usually use, but that's connected up to another antenna at the moment, and thought I'd give the 2000 a bit of a run, Larry. Seems to work okay. I've got the matching speaker with it, and just getting into it, and very complicated radio really when you first get it, but it seems to you seem to get to know it a lot better after a few weeks. And the ALC is a bit of a thing, isn't it? Mate, I got to run this thing out of the ALC to get any real drive out. I'm just out of the ALC at the moment, which which allows to run the other box of tricks, which is under the bench, Larry. But no, I've got a problem with my rotator. That's connected up to the rotators on the 6-element quad, which is locked off towards Europe. And this afternoon I just thought I'd have a bit of fun, and so I went to the hardware, got a bit of Tasmanian oak Darwin, and repaired the spreader, and hey presto, we're on here on 11 meters. Just feeding it with a quarter wave of 70 ohm feeder for the matching system, and then into 50 ohm, and believe it or not, it's only up at about Jesus, probably 18 foot at the most, Larry. Okay, mate, I don't know how you're still getting me pretty strong here as well. 06593, go ahead.
Yeah, right back, Peter. Yeah, the 2000 is a pretty neat radio. I've had this one for about, I'm probably going on maybe, it's got to be like, it's got to be at least 3.5 years, maybe even 4. But yeah, the ALC is a little bit, it's a little bit too, actually it's a whole lot too aggressive, but, you know, it holds back a lot of, because it got a lot of potential in there, but the ALC does hit it a little hard, but it's not bad now. But when I first got this thing, I don't know the one that you have, I don't know if you got it brand new or if it was a used one, but when this one right here, when I first got it, and like I said, it was 3 or 4 years ago, but the programming, the firmware that it had in there before, the ALC was it was way too aggressive, and then I ended up I forgot something happened to this thing. I ended up I was messing around with another amplifier I was working on, and ended up burning a final in the radio, and I was gonna do it, but I forget, this thing was still pretty new at the time, so I sent it back to Yaesu over here and let them fix the thing, and I told them while they had it, I'd heard they had a new firmware that was out that I think the brand new ones have it in there. That's what they call the PEP upgrade. So while they had it down there, I had them reflash the ECU and put the latest firmware in there. So then when I got it back, the ALC was a whole lot better. I mean, it was night and day difference in what this thing did, and it wasn't ever really that big of a problem on sideband, but on AM. It was way too aggressive, but now on AM it talks pretty good now, so I'm real happy with it. But yeah, it is a little bit. I mean, looking at it, there is a whole lot of buttons and knobs and all that kind of stuff. But now shit that I've had for such a long time, it's like I think now I can come out here with the lights off and still work this thing. So it's and then you know how they are. Once you get them set where you want them, you kind of leave them alone anyways. But it's a pretty good little piece. So I am happy with it. And one thing, I didn't get the matching speaker with it because I don't really have a room up where this one's sitting right now. I don't have any room for that. But I did get the DMU unit too, so I have the DMU sitting on the side of it, and that gives me, that puts like your menus. You can watch them on the screen. Like I got a little 22-inch flat screen I got on this one, but puts your menus up there, or you can do you got rolled clocks, you got a band scope, you got audio scope for your transmit and receive, and that's actually the way I'm doing the video now is on the audio scope. But then you got rotor functions you can do, and plus memory and logging. There's a whole bunch of things, but the DMU is a pretty neat little add-on. It was expensive though. It was that and the monitor and the keyboard was probably about right around $1,000, but it was well worth it because it does kind of